Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen, and it is Wednesday. It is the 20th of May. We're not far from the very end of the month, and I think it's a new moon in a couple of days, maybe even tomorrow. We may or may not be visited by my beautiful white cat again, whom I'm sure some of you have already seen in some of the blooper things. He's very persistent this week. Position of the moon or something. But yeah, he's been super friendly this week. We'll see if we can get through this reading without his interruptions and maybe without him making a guest appearance again in the blooper reels. Without further ado, our card for the day, the World. So, the World is one of the major arcana. It is actually the final card, shall we say, in the cycle of the major arcana cards. The major arcana cards are the 22 cards that were taken out when we created our standard playing card deck. So the standard playing card deck only has the 4 suits, and they have been manipulated a little bit as well. But primarily, what has been removed is the 22 major arcana cards. Those 22 cards also represent the hero's journey or the fool's journey. And so the World is the culmination of that journey. The fool has gone and learned his lessons and seen what there is of his adventures and experiences and grown and changed. And now he has come to see this is what the world is all about. This is the ending. This is very much what everybody's been looking for. So when I say that, though, the world can be the happily ever after, or it can be this dynamic shift in worldview that changes the fool forever. So it's more like you can never go home again kind of thing. So what I like to look at with the world is inverted or not inverted. When it comes up, it is a huge shift in this person's reality. It is either their happily ever after that they've been looking for, or suddenly their world has tipped on its axis and they have a whole new set of adventures to go on. The card itself in this deck, which is again the Mary Hanson Roberts deck, which I love because it's so pretty, the picture on here has the 4 symbols, which we're going to come to represent kind of the dynamic of things, as well as the woman in the center who is representative of the earth, the mother, the womb of all things. In this case, she is clothed. In some decks, she is not. In this very standard Rider-Waite deck, she is not clothed. She is naked. In this, she's wearing kind of a somewhat Grecian-looking shift dress, and there's like a shawl on her shoulders or a veil. There's some flowers in her hair. She's got lovely blonde hair. She's holding these 2 rods, which I have come to represent the rods as kind of the access points, the poles, if you will, of the world. So like you have this parallel and she is balancing them constantly and changing things constantly. Surrounding her is the wreath. The wreath is kind of typically there as well. It is that which kind of encompasses all that she is. It is always, okay, I shouldn't say always, it sometimes is a different color, but typically it is green or made of greenery of some kind. So it's a bit of a wreath that surrounds her. In this case, it's tied back with some red ribbon and kind of creates some X's, which I think is interesting because it's then making kind of the sign of 20 around her, and then she being like the 1 in the center. I don't know. That's my interpretation of it. So within all of this, she is the earth, the world. Surrounding her is these 4 faces. And in every deck, it is pretty much always these 4 faces in some respect. So you have the man, the face of man. You have the eagle, the hawk, the bird, whatever it may be. You have the lion, and you have the bull. these are representative of these energies that are surrounding us all the time. So you have that that kind of force, the driving force of the bull, that stubbornness, that willingness to prod ahead and work hard, and that kind of staunch personality and energy. The lion is strength and pride and all of those kind of royal features that give us our energy to be proud of ourselves, that ego sort of thing. The bird, and again, these are all based on interpretations that I have seen and interpretations that I have felt through the cards, if that makes sense. So then you have the bird and the man. The bird is that connection with the spirit. Again, we've seen this in other places where the bird is the messenger to our higher self, the messenger to that other realm. So when you see a bird or you see wings, it typically connects to this is something of the other world. So this is a very spiritual sort of energy. And then you have man. Man is that's who we are. It's beings. It's our mind. It's our mental capacity. It's everything in our material. What we are meant to be doing in this plane. So it's a very here and now sort of thing. And it's our human nature, very in a very simple way. So when you look at these four together and how they influence us, they are also kind of our instincts. They are things that drive us. We use our mind, we use our more civilized brain, if you will. We connect to higher powers. We have our strength of will, and we also have that strength of will that is about work and power. So looking at these things, you can see it's all the world. It's everything that we may encounter at some point in our lives. So when this card comes up, think about what the rest of the reading has to say. If it's the first card, you know right away this is going to be a story, a reading that is about big changes to come. Or big changes have just come and this is how we're going to sort it out. But either way, the world has shifted. The world being in the cycle of the arcana is 21, which means it goes back to zero, which it goes back to the Fool. This can mean the story starts over again. Like she's got that circle around her, that wreath around her. It doesn't really end. Every time you have something happen in your life, you start again. You have oh, this is my happily ever after. I finally have the perfect relationship and the perfect house and the perfect car and the perfect job and I have all these things and it's perfect, perfect, perfect. And then you have to live your life in perfect, perfect, perfect. So it's not really perfect. It's you're coming back around to enjoy this. When you have all of these things, they fade. Everything in our real world fades. You have the perfect house, the perfect job, the perfect car, the perfect everything, and then something breaks down. And you have to maintain it. And that relationship has to be maintained. And the job has to be something you go to every day. You don't just get the job and then it's there. You get the job and you got to go every day and enjoy it and experience it and get along with your coworkers and do all these things. On the flip side, even negative things are really things that push us to adventure. I love to think of everything in life as adventure. So when you have this new adventure, this new obstacle to approach, and recently I've been studying up on my King Arthur, and quest maidens is a thing, and I just think that that's amazing. I love that word. I love the concept of a quest maiden. It is this woman that like jumps out of the woods and ready to tell you of an adventure you're going to go on. The woman in the center of this is sort of a quest maiden. She's like, here you go. I brought to you something new and exciting to do. New and exciting adventure awaits. Just follow me. Just listen. It's probably not going to be all good, but it's not going to be all bad either. You'll learn something. So the world for a while probably is going to come up in my brain as quest maiden. It's just going to happen. The world influences me. So the the world and the quest maiden telling you, hey, you've just lost your job and now it's time to find a new one. you've just had to liquidate your assets for whatever reason, and you're moving across country, and you have to start all over again. It's a new adventure. You become the fool once again, and you have no real knowledge of what's to come, but it's it's going to teach you something more, and you're going to reach for something new. When you take that step and you see the world come in to your reading or to your life, if you pull a card every day, be ready for the big things. Be ready for new adventures, new voices, and also realize that you can take a moment and really sit back and go, ah, that was a grand adventure. Wasn't it wonderful? Didn't we have a great time? And even if this card comes up and it's kind of an end of life sort of card, it really represents that whole, it's just one big adventure. And maybe it's time to write about it. Maybe it's time to do your memoirs and say, hey, I am excited about all of these wonderful things that I did in life. And now it's time for me to share those experiences with you as you are the new fool entering. I know fool sounds like a really derogatory thing. It's not. You are this new innocent soul who needs to learn something, and I'm here to teach you. And I'm ready to take on that role. So, have a wonderful Wednesday. Have a wonderful Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. I'm really excited, and I hope that this is a wonderful card for you, and it's very inspiring. It inspires me every day. So, I look forward to talking to you again. Bye!